This is the Liquid Courage Podcast, a in-depth look at every episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. This week we check out the Hunchback of Nowhere and the Gods Must Be Goosey, featuring Taylor, Tim, and Sheldon. Now here are your hosts.
Oh boy.
But I am ready when you boys are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to think of a fun, clever, rolling intro, but I can't do that here. So hey, we're here now.
Welcome back to
podcast.
the Liquid Courage Podcast.
We're gonna keep
That's
it
the name of it.
story.
We're gonna do that podcast.
Podcast.
All right. I am Taylor, and I am joined, as always, by two co-hosts that you've heard before and need no introduction, but I will introduce them anyway. It is Sheldon
Hey everyone.
and Tiam.
Woo! Shot.
All right. No, I won't. I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna wait for you.
No,
That was it. You don't have to wait for anything. What else am I gonna do there?
take another shot.
Productive.
No.
Hi everyone. Welcome back to Liquid Courage Podcast. Apparently a very low energy podcast at this point in time. It's rained all day here, and I'm not happy because it's wet and it's gross, and my dog was gross, and now I'm here.
You're in the
Taylor
middle of
doesn't
nowhere.
appreciate.
Yeah. My vacation ended, and now I gotta be a real person again. Now I'm sad. But here we are. We're gonna talk about a show with a dog who is sometimes purple and sometimes pink.
And sometimes different shapes and different things.
Sometimes courageous, sometimes not.
Sometimes a big just
Smelly robot.
Judgy McJudgerson in the case of the second of the episodes we watched today. But the first one that we watched today, we watched two episodes as always. We watched the Hunchback of Nowhere and the Gods Must Be Goosey, which of course is a reference to the Gods Must Be Crazy.
Oh, is
which
it?
is yeah.
Oh.
So fat.
Except I don't think that's the actual name of the original show. But I could be wrong.
We'll have trivia for it.
I'm gonna vamp.
We'll get it.
I'm gonna vamp. But there's that, and then we have some other things. Yeah, the Gods Must Be Crazy. I was right. I knew it. The South African comedy.
Oh,
Boy, yeah.
how many people died making that short?
I went with South Africa.
Well, but what time period? Never mind.
It's not Roar by any means. So there's that. The first one is fun. I don't. This is one of those episodes. Like, this is one of those sessions where I watched it the whole way through, and now I'm going. Okay.
It was kind of a wholesome episode. I wouldn't call it like amazingly funny.
I call it a filler. Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily call it that. It's just one of those. Both of them. I mean, the second. I think Gods Might Be Goosey has a little bit more interesting slapstickiness to it. I like the concept in our Hunchback one better, and we'll talk about that. But boy, I don't know. I'm trying really hard to be like, I got funny jokes, and I'm like,
There's not really. It's not really funny.
That's what people want to hear going into this, comedy podcast. I don't really have jokes.
I don't have jokes. This is a non-joke episode. If you if you like jokes, go listen to my Bim Bam. Sorry.
Oh, Bim Bam.
Yeah,
but we're here. It doesn't help that.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Courage is in the background, blessing us all. Doesn't help that you showed me that stupid. We'll talk about the nerd video later.
Do you want to start with that? Do you want to get it out of the way?
I'll just be mad.
I know. I shouldn't have showed you that before.
Oh,
no, you showed me a while ago, but now I'm just mad. Fine. Fine. I'll address the fucking elephant in the room.
Oh.
All right, dear listener, we gotta talk. I get that we are nostalgia. We are a nostalgia-based podcast. That is fine. However, I think we do better than most nostalgia-based things that are trying to pull at your brain cords of just being like, remember the thing? And apparently Tim wants us to just be, he apparently wants us to start a beef war with, I don't even want to say the name. I'm not going to say the name, so I'm just going to refer to it. I'm going to refer to everything that I'm talking about in very vague terms.
Sure.
But those of you that are out there listening, nostalgia is really cool, and that's great. But don't just find things that talk about your stuff because it makes you feel and remember. Find stuff that has quality content and actually like provides something to the world. And may it be funny laughs or insight, but anything that talks about a show that had 6 seasons and a movie as a cult hit needs to be burned to the ground.
Oh, I wonder who you're talking
Anything that talks about the chaos of a certain Cartoon Network show with kids that were secret agents and gives you literally no substance at the end of it other than going, but was it good? I don't know.
Let me hear down below.
Don't listen to that. Anything that talks about surface level bullshit when it comes to Courage the Cowardly Dog and John Dilworth's use of Looney Tunes and also silent film, which everyone has used since the day that they did those things, and then also gives you false information about the settings of the show.
Oh yeah, he said so. Yeah, especially if you're a some kind of content creator that is really big into the nerd side of nostalgic. Don't say that this place that Courage takes place in nowhere, New Mexico, which is a place
by truth and consequence, no doubt. But here's the thing: it doesn't. It is explicitly stated numerous times that the setting of Courage the Cowardly Dog is in Kansas.
Right.
It is stated on anything you read that it's in Kansas. Anyone who has lived in Kansas and isn't living in the eastern half of the state knows that it is such a vitamin and just innate thing to be like, that's the middle of nowhere.
Gotta wander past.
Hey, that's actually over there.
Just because there's a town called this doesn't mean that's how settings work.
And
that's not how writing works.
And the reason,
go fuck yourself.
And the reason I know why he did what he did.
Because he's a cunt.
Because he did the most base level research. He didn't do much. He just did enough using his own memory of watching the show and one Google search of Nowhere, America. Because there is a place in New Mexico that's called Nowhere, New Mexico. And someone did try to put something down there to make it seem like the show was there. Like maybe a fan. I think it was just a bunch of people trolling, to be completely honest.
Who wouldn't? I mean,
if you look at it, if you look it up, it is definitely like, this is not that.
If I could name a town Nowhere, I would. I mean,
it's infuriating. It really is.
Don't buy into this. Like, you can be mad at me. That's fine. Send the emails to whatever our email address is.
Our email address is theliquidcouragepodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, you should send us both questions, comments, concerns, and if I'm just being overly critical, I won't listen, but you can.
Hateful comments,
But I don't do that. Don't encourage mouth-breathing content.
Yeah, and content that doesn't have... It's like if you ever wrote an essay in high school, and they're like, all right, in this essay you have to make your point, but you also have to provide a counterpoint, and then restate it all in the conclusion. That's exactly what it is.
500 words.
And that's not... Yeah, exactly. And it's not bad. That's the basics of writing. but there's no substance to it. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Take a stand, damn it.
Yeah,
Stay behind it. Don't say something because and then just sit there and go like, I don't want to make anybody, like, take a stand. Like, do something. Do actual research. Like, try something. Here's the thing. This is a funny podcast that we do funny things on. The amount of time that I spend looking through wikis, trying to read incomprehensible Twitter pages and looking through other things is so high for this. I shouldn't do it. But I do it because I don't want it to end up coming across as like I didn't care and I just watched the episode. I give a damn.
Yeah, we care. That we have passion for it.
It's a silly thing, but I
just
do
watched
care.
the episode.
That's fine.
Right.
One of us has to.
Different viewpoints from different places. And
But oh my god! Like, go to YouTube right now and Google your favorite show. You're gonna find, especially if it's from like the '90s cartoons. You're going to find 400 videos describing or going over them. There's probably 2 of them that are actually good pieces on them. Like,
yeah, and it's
that
one
is
thing
the thing.
To be reviewing them, because even that has a point at the end. The review is to tell you, yes, this was something that happened. This is actually how it is. And then you're supposed to use the contrasting points to pull your own decision while the person telling you about the review tells them their opinion and decision. Whereas this is just like, well, okay, that was a thing. Like, what was the point? Why did we sit here and do this?
Yeah.
Like,
so
We watched it together. Was it good? Was it bad? I can't say.
leave your comments down below. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I was gonna hit that.
So that Tim did that, and he has sullied me.
I'm sorry. It's something
Taylor's
I
just
thought
an angry boy.
we would have good.
There's so much of it. There's so much of it, and there's at least one creator that created several channels where he just does the same thing about the same stuff, and it's just stupid.
And he got in trouble in one, which is why there's several of them now.
Like,
I thought we weren't getting too specific here, boys.
I don't give a shit.
We're not saying his name.
No, I didn't say his name. But, like, at least the Nostalgia Critic, who has his own problems, when he puts out videos, puts effort and puts time and puts thought in what he is doing, and you can get upset at the way that Doug Walker does that, that's fine, and the way he treats people, but at least he has put effort into his shit. And he hasn't just pulled a bunch of clips that make up 5 minutes of the 10-minute episode and just go for a cash grab. So there's that.
Don't get me into the editing part of it, because the actual creation, he just uses the fucking template.
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad.
So there's that. So don't do that. And if you hate our podcast, don't listen. Go away. That's fine. I get you. But anyway. So there's that. So we watched 2 episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog Day. One of them was about being nice to everybody.
No matter what they look like.
Yeah, here I am.
The irony of us just shitting on something that.
On the outside. So like, it didn't say shit if you're a terrible person on the inside.
Well, in fact, they said it's okay to be mean to people if you're terrible, if they're terrible on the inside.
Actually,
that is pretty
true.
much what happened.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that shit. All right. Once upon a time, there was a big cathedral in France. That's not. I mean, it's mostly there.
Well, I mean, there's some damage on it now.
By the way, the rainforest is burning down. Maybe we should donate to that. But
I already did.
The cathedral burned down, and it was called the Notre Dame. And the Notre Dame was a big-ass church. And it had many things. And it had gargoyles, and it had a Disney movie made about it. And it also had a hunchback that probably never existed in real life.
But we don't know that.
At least not like that.
But it's a classic story and a classic tale. And now we get to talk about its fun cultural influence. A story that was created in 1833, and it's still being played around today. And the first episode, IMDb gave Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame 6.9 out of 10.
Wow, it's one of my favorites.
Wow.
Rotten Tomatoes. It's only
Disney movie.
71% fresh.
It's still fresh though, so.
Come on, Hellfire's a hit though.
So anyway, that took
He
me
tries
off
to
guard.
fucking kill him. Never mind. I don't.
Courage
6.9.
is a dog, and he lives in the middle of nowhere with Eustace and Muriel. And this episode is interesting because it's one of the times in which courage is really not the main focus of the episode, which is neat and a good kind of step out. And the monster, quote unquote, he's not a bad guy,
But he is unpleasant to look at, Taylor.
Yes,
How can
I
we
know.
deal with that?
And so this episode is gonna teach. This is basically a Sesame Street, but
Wow,
beginning
why
of
do you
this-
live in the trash can there, Grover? Motherfucker, get out!
Because it's okay to have negative feelings.
It's my trash
all
can.
right.
Get the fuck out of
okay.
here.
It's also okay to like things that nobody else likes.
Yeah, it's okay to have imaginary friends that then become real.
You have something to tell us, Taylor?
What a
No,
fucking Snuffleupagus.
Big Bird. Like Snuffy wasn't real, and then later on they made Snuffy real because they realized maybe we shouldn't like have a character that nobody believes is real, just in case kids have some shit they need to get off their chest.
Yep. Oh,
nobody
Big
will believe
Bird.
him.
Who are you talking to? Snuffleupagus.
And they're like, yeah.
Just
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
no. So Snuffy's not real, but A Hunchback of Nowhere is the name of the first episode we watched, and the premise is pretty simple. The Hunchback is walking around town. It's a rainy night in nowhere, much like it has been for like 4 days in Kansas. Our Seattle listeners are going amateur.
Feels like Seattle
It
here
hasn't
sometimes.
stopped raining since my 15th birthday. How old are you? 35.
That's England. But a small, little, deformed man is walking around town, and he's got a hunchback, and he's got a terrible eye, and he looks very not pleasing to the eye, and he's trying to find a place to get out of the rain, and he knocks on a bunch of doors, and everybody says eek or ah, or the last guy just goes, "You, sir, are very unpleasant to look at," and slams the door in his face.
Somehow Taylor got a cameo inside this episode.
Shut up. And they're walking around. Ivan S. Barr is the writer, the head writer on this one here. And they're walking around, and he's trying to find a place to go, and he ends up wandering towards the Bag Farm. The Mobius Bag Farm that now has a barn that I don't ever remember being in many other episodes. I'm sure it appears in sometimes, but it's space-time, and remember that fireplace and the moose? Because it's gone now.
Yeah, what about the chicken coop?
It was
It's
there. It was there.
there.
He ate his blueberries there.
That's right.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay, he
that's-
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have the most established shot of the farm as the hunchback walks up to it. And I'm just going to call him the Hunchback because he doesn't have a name. So don't at me.
I think his name is the Hunchback.
His name
It is. The character
Hunchback.
is the Hunchback.
Yes, sir. Right here.
And it's raining, and it's raining, and it's raining, and he's got this oversized, popped-out eye, and this other weird kind of other popped-out eye. One's really big, and one's kind of a weird teardrop shape.
Telescopic.
Yeah, and he's walking to the Bag Farm, and he's looking through a window, and Eustace and Courage are sitting upon their prospective chairs in the living room, and Eustace decides, hey, I want my raincoat, for no reason, and just turns to Courage and says, didn't I tell you to get my raincoat? To which Courage goes, what? And I was like, hey, look, Courage is Eustace is gaslighting Courage. Isn't that neat? Isn't that a fun thing that we get to talk about too?
Taylor,
Remember that
we
episode?
already covered this joke. Don't you remember?
Remember that episode where Eustace dealt with his abusive mother and how she made him feel crazy, and also now he's trying to make other people feel crazy? It's nice that Pro Jared got a cameo.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh. Yeah, as the Hunchback.
No. And Courage is very confused. And Eustace, in Eustace fashion, says, "I need it." And this is a bone of contention, of debate between us as we watched it. Eustace scares Courage, but instead of using the mask, which he normally uses, he decides to pop out his eyeballs, which is arguably more terrifying than the mask.
Yeah, I would say so.
Now, later on, he does it again, and we finally get to the bottom of it. But initially, Eustace turns around and pulls something out of his pocket. At least it looks like that way. Correct, Sheldon?
Yes, it looks like he turns around, grabs something out of his pockets, then he puts the fists up to his eyes, and it shoots out of his fists.
Oh, very fast.
And I watched it, and I went back and we rewatched it. He does, and it looks like he's just squeezing something, like it's a stress ball.
Right.
Like a booga.
Yeah.
It'll scare you.
And Tim goes, "Oh, that was his eyes, and that was terrifying." And we're both like, "No, that's definitely not his eyes. He pulled it out of his pocket." Later on, hold on, dear listener, because Sheldon and I get to be wrong.
It finally happens.
1 for us, 400 for Tim.
It's the one that matters.
And the Hunchback sees this and gets very sad.
Now, hold on.
Oh, what? Did I miss something?
No, you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
But it's the statement of, okay, so he wanders up to the window and he sees this man just berate this dog and just fucking, "I'm gonna scare this dog now." And his first thought after seeing that is, "I'm gonna ask for a room."
Well, I mean, he's got no
seems
choice.
like a nice family.
His first thought was that wasn't very nice, and then he's still trying to get out of the rain.
Yeah, he's trying to live, like, right?
I
So
know.
Oh,
he still has to get something.
No, I know.
I know, but it's just one of those thoughts where it's just like, that old man's no good.
No.
Oh, I think it's like 100% he knew, right? Like, there's no way he didn't know.
Right.
But again, I don't think he has a choice. I think that's the big deal, right? And so he goes, "Okay, I'm gonna get a room," and he goes to the door, and it's one of those things that, like, as a kid, you're like, maybe this is the one time that Eustace won't be terrible. And, like, your heart flutters. And as an adult, I watch it and I go, "Oh, he's going to be a fucking asshole."
Yeah, there's no way he's not going to be a dick.
That's all he ever is.
The door and screams at the man.
Yeah. Not even like, I was going to say, not even like, "How dare you be here?" Just a deep scream of just, "Ah!"
Oh my God, how ugly you are.
Yeah. Episode didn't age well.
No, not at all.
And so,
I don't know. I think it aged perfectly fine.
It still has a lesson.
Yeah, and so he's like, "Can I have a room?" By the way, it doesn't say it. Go back and watch this, listener, because I'm 90% sure that that's Michael Caine. And I sat here for a long time debating if I was going to do the entire episode in a Michael Caine impersonation, and I decided like 6 people would understand that, and everybody else would just be very confused. So I didn't. So you're welcome.
Depends on how good your Michael Caine voice is.
It's not bad, Mr. Batman. He doesn't say Mr. Batman. He says
No,
Mr.
he doesn't.
Wayne. But not a lot of people know. I can't do it right now. I've had too much.
I didn't want to bury you like I buried your parrot.
I didn't want to bury you.
What are all those sit-ups for if you can't even lift a simple log?
That's Michael Caine. Not a lot of people know that. But what really sucks is that Michael Caine knows everybody does a bad impersonation of Michael Caine, and he absolutely despises the fact that people do it.
Of course he does.
Oh well.
It is my favorite thing.
It's not like I'm gonna
world.
meet Michael Caine in the street anytime soon.
I hope I do. But it sounds like Michael Caine. And this goes on, and so he does not get a room, obviously, and just kind of, we think, leaves, I suppose.
Why would he leave when there's a perfectly fine prefurbished farm ready for the taking?
Yeah, and so he walks out, and we don't really know where he goes. But he walks away, and Eustace still yells at Courage to get him his raincoat.
Which Courage does. He goes out.
Yeah, but
he wouldn't even need his raincoat if he just didn't go outside.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. I think he just wants to torture the dog.
Yeah,
as
I think
always.
he's just fucking with Courage. There's no way he's not.
Yeah. And so he goes outside and goes to the barn, finds the raincoat, which was apparently in the barn. Bad place for the raincoat, Eustace. This is also when we realize that's a damn nice barn.
Yeah.
It really is much nicer for Bag End. Much
Bag
nicer than
Enterprises.
Bag End deserves.
Bag Enterprise. Bag Incorporated.
Bag LLC.
Bag End, also known as, where the hobbits come from. Whatever.
But like, it was really like I've known a lot of people that have had land. I've been in a lot of barns. That was a really nice barn.
Yeah.
No animals, but it's still a nice barn. Probably why it was a nice barn.
Maybe.
Oh yeah. It did smell like crap, I bet.
And then Courage is enchanted by the sound of
Bells.
Bells.
As we all are at
Bells,
one point in our
bells,
lives.
bells. I used
We've
to
all
live.
read the poem.
I used to live by a church, and every Sunday morning,
It's the worst. No, I know
they
exactly.
would play. Oh, it was so nice, dude.
What?
I think it was like 9 a.m.
You
and
like the bells.
They'd play a really nice, soft like chime. It'd be great. Every Sunday morning they play a different chime. Every other morning, like at like 9 a.m. and noon, and like 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. in the evening, they'd play something else. God, it was just nice.
Well, we must
Soft
live.
Game
We live
Boy
different
church.
lives because I definitely used to live near a church, but maybe it's because I was going to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And the 8 a.m. or whatever mass, when that go off, scare the shit out of me just
God would
constantly.
turn his gift into a curse for young Timothy that day.
Yeah.
I think that just
Every
means you're supposed to go,
Sunday.
heathen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the point,
Hello?
right?
Hello, heathen Timothy. How are you this morning?
Are you there,
Not
God?
great.
It's me, Tim.
Please, for once, let the bells not ring. Just this
Too
once.
bad, bitch.
I know I've been cursing and yelling at people all night, telling them to do
you
bad
guys-
things.
Were you guys ever confused at the Hello God, It's Me, Margaret books?
Yeah.
Book?
No.
Were
I
you
didn't,
very...
I didn't read those. Sorry.
I didn't either, but like I was like, why is it such a weird religion? And then it's just about periods.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I was so confused.
Kudos to my
why?
parents who thought that was a wholesome book that could make a child be distracted for a few minutes. Led to a lot of extra questions in my life that didn't need to be
Are
asked.
you there, God? It's me, Margaret. I was like, why? That's such a weird thing to just be like out there reading, and you crack it open, and you're like, it's just about periods.
I think
Weird.
one of my favorite songs that I found recently, I can't remember the band name, but the song title is "Are You There, Margaret? It's God."
Oh no.
That's silly. So Courage is enchanted by some heavenly bells, and he walks up the ladder to find the Hunchback playing a lovely song with these bells.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah, again, a reference. Noachback of Notre Dame, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think I died just now.
Yeah,
I think you had a stroke.
the-
Are you okay?
his name is just straight Hunchback. So.
Damn it! And here I was betting on
Steve.
Steve.
Nope.
Knew it. But so he hears, and it's nice. It's a nice song, and that's when we realize that the Hunchback is just a nice guy, and it's such a different episode because of it. Because every other thing that has come to the farm has been so terrible 90% of the time, and now it's just a nice hunchbacked man who
Listen,
got
I just want to play my bells.
he had a
Yeah.
shit position in life, and here we go, and now I'm sad because Eustace is gonna be a dick, but he and Courage hang out, they play some more bells, they do some trapeze.
Yeah, that must have took a little bit, right?
that was my beat that I was waiting. I was like, I'm gonna see where they take it.
Do you want me to
Like, I
take-
mean,
Well,
no, but why is there trapeze in the barn?
I think
There's one of
Eustace,
two answers. One is either Muriel or Eustace has a secret past that they don't want to talk about. Or they just did it that night. They just made the trapeze, and either way, way too much time was put into this.
By the way, this mysterious barn that appeared out of goddamn nowhere. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, it is nowhere.
Yeah,
so where
it
else would it
is.
show up?
Well, you got me there.
But that happened. Also, trapeze is weird. It's a fun word to say. If you're listening right now, pause this. Say trapeze or trapeze several times in a row.
That is my new safe word.
Triaps.
You'll start thinking that it's not real because it sounds so strange. But
Any
they do
word
that
said
for a
enough.
while. And then Eustace comes out to the barn in the rain
Where's my raincoat?
to yell at Courage for not having his raincoat because this man needs a hobby
That's
that
right.
isn't yelling at a dog.
Well, that is his hobby.
And so Courage comes down. He gets yelled at. He grabs the raincoat from the hunchback who's hiding in a haystack, and comes and gives it to Eustace. And Eustace scares Courage. And here's where Sheldon and I went. Oh, I guess it was his eyes.
Oh, I guess it is his eyes.
Yep.
Because Eustace just pops his eyes out of his head.
Yeah, it's
they're
no
attached.
warning. No
A
warning.
booga 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 right into the sockets, and you're going, no.
And you're like, well, never mind. I guess fuck me for thinking that it was a cool prank.
No.
No, it's just a birth deformity.
Tim,
You freak. You fucking freak.
Do you think that he originally, now to thinking back to it, he was pumping like some kind of pressure thing so his eyeballs would just shoot out like that?
Fucking
That's
Christ.
more terrifying.
That's worse.
I'm into it. Let's do.
I've seen extreme body mods before. I'm 90% sure that's one of them.
That's awesome.
Did you also, hey, this is kind of on brand. There's a man. Well, I can't say that anymore because he doesn't
It's
want to
a
be called
person.
that.
That's right. It's not on brand anymore.
Does he not even want to be called a person?
No, because he's trying to turn himself into like a lizard, like completely.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not talking about the guy from like Ripley's that had the split tongue and like
No,
weird thing under his
there's
nose. There's
a
like a
There's a legitimate person
Yeah.
that's trying to do that. He's using body modifications to like change his skin into literal scales and
he
shit.
cut his penis off.
Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. Because
I'm sorry?
lizards had penises.
They do. Lizards do have penises, and lady lizards have vagines.
So I don't. Yeah. No, it's. To each their own, all right? I'm at that point where I'm just like, you know what, buddy? You're going for it. Fucking go.
I am just so. It's such an odd thing. But I can't not read stories every time it pops up in my tabloid rag. It's just weird.
Tabloid rag.
And so that happens.
Yeah.
So body mods. So apparently Eustace is also into body modification. He probably hangs himself from those trapeze things.
That's right. Let's talk about more about mutilation.
Floats around.
That's one of our YouTube
That's another
comments
thing
that
too.
people wanted.
Yeah, they wanted more vor.
The lizards, the gorilla.
By the way, person that wanted more vor. You okay?
I don't know. There was somebody, yes.
You
on
okay,
YouTube.
bud?
There were several. I do look at all your YouTube comments, and I do like them all because I think either they make me laugh or they just
or they make.
they just
You
make
need to
good
call
content.
somebody.
I do
Because
love
I
all
think
you
you
guys on the YouTube. Thank you.
Put it
for
on
listening.
Craigslist. Someone will show up for you.
Fuck, man. I just.
What? But so that happened, and Courage is then scared. The Hunchback is then sad, and we deal with that. And when we cut to the morning, where Courage comes in all happy to the kitchen, Muriel's happy making pancakes, and then the Hunchback Then the Hunchback comes in to the door. Muriel invites him in. She also gives him pancakes because any friend of Courage is a friend of hers. Which is just adorable.
I mean, Muriel is obviously the good one
She's
here.
got a
so-
heart of goddamn gold, dude.
That should be everyone's grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandma kind of looks like that, except she
That's
also
good.
goes, "Which one are you?
Well,
Bobby?"
that's-
None of us are named Bobby, Grandma. Oh, Bobby was such a nice boy.
she's talking about Bobby Kennedy, Tim.
Probably. Fucking, yeah.
Don't do that while I'm taking a drink.
But
Don't do it.
so that happens. Eustace comes in the kitchen again, yells at the hunchback for being there, and Muriel sort of lays down the law. I like that in later seasons she just hits the man with a rolling pin.
Yeah.
This
She's
is
done it
like the
once
only
already.
episode where she doesn't hit him.
Yeah, I was gonna
She
say.
should have.
Yeah.
She just looks at Eustace and goes, "You know where this is going if you don't agree." Immediately, and then she stares at the bloodied frying pan at the wall.
I wish. I wish that was a detail in the background that she's just like been hitting him every time he was terrible. Like that's the only reason they're still together.
It's like they're both secretly terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, just like he has been so bad that this is just anyway.
She's fighting back, damn it.
Yeah. But domestic violence is never the answer. Call somebody. We have numerous helplines there. We don't, but the world does.
Don't call us, but there are better hotlines to call.
There are. But this goes on, and then Courage and the Hunchback hang out and eat their pancakes, and Eustace begrudgingly sits down, and then we have the best roast war ever, in which Eustace and the Hunchback go head to head in calling each other names.
Do you
And
do you want me to read it? Because I do have it pulled up. Because it's
yeah,
the
go ahead,
most
Dad.
notable quote of this episode, apparently.
Good, go for it.
Eustace to the Hunchback. You know how to spell ugly. You.
Okay, I'll be the Hunchback.
Okay, yes.
And you, sir, are extremely bald.
Yeah. Why you
Courage under the table.
Oh yeah. Well, you look like something the cow spit up.
Courage quickly makes another note. Hunchback, you, sir, are extremely bald.
Come on, the only thing uglier than this. Takes a mirror, and a reflection shows the Hunchback's eyes. Is this? Takes another mirror out and shows the Hunchback's nose.
Are you bald? Yes. Muriel, Eustace, you have no sense of hospitality.
Nope.
No.
Well then, you can go take your breakfast and eat it in the hen house.
But, he called me bald.
Eustace, you are bald.
And then,
Well-
and then the gif of all the kids screaming happens.
Got him. Well, stomps foot. Keep him out of my sight, and slams the door.
Lamb's door.
And that's
You're not reading the parenthesized text with enough blandness as it would be a stage play. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry
Oh.
that I don't do radio theater anymore.
I'm sorry,
you
There's
those
a
aren't
reason for
drama
that.
kids.
You should have been. It was fine. So that happened, and the Hunchback and the Courage are very excited with what they have now done.
We made an
And-
old man feel bad about his
We did.
problems.
High
We
five!
called him
Yeah!
bald,
We got him.
and they high five.
Elderly
And-
abuse isn't a joke, kids.
We cut to later that night, and it's still raining. And Eustace is alone in the house, and he's trying to find Muriel, and he comes out to see her under an umbrella by the barn, listening to the Hunchback and Courage make beautiful music together. And she says, sit down. Eustace gets perturbed by the fact that the Hunchback is wearing his raincoat.
How
Then
dare
decides-
that freak wear his ring?
How dare he? That fucking freak, runs upstairs, climbs out of the tiniest window, and confronts the Hunchback, who willingly takes off his raincoat and then turns and walks away. Courage, Eustace puts on said raincoat, pops his eyes again,
and almost scares Courage off the fucking roof.
Yeah, almost makes Courage fall off the roof, to which the Hunchback responds that you're not a nice person and you want to see what's really scary, and then does the best scare ever by putting on a very much statically drawn mask of Eustace Bag and saying "dumb dog," which scares him so bad Eustace falls off the roof.
He didn't even pull it out like quick. It was like a oop.
Yep. And then
let me make sure this is fastened to my face correctly.
Courage and the Hunchback try to save Eustace. I think Courage just let him fall.
Yeah, no, they don't try hard. They kind of just like, oh no.
And that's the end.
Yep. At the end of
Eustace is okay. We see that he's fine.
Yeah, he makes noises.
Yeah, they fall. He lives. At the end of it, the rain stops. The Hunchback and Courage have a moment out in front of the farm where they show each other the bells.
Yep.
And he just kind of, that's it.
He's
Courage
like,
wants him to
there's
stay.
more nice people like you out there, and then walks down the middle
wanders down
of
the road.
Which is the first point in this episode where I go, a car would just speed out of nowhere in this part of the world and just
you fool
fucking murder him.
Yeah.
Would you like the trivia for this episode while we're here?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. That's the end of the episode.
Yeah. So this is the first time that Eustace refers to Courage by his real name, other than stupid dog. The first time was in the series. That was the first time, and the second time was in the episode Ball of Revenge, and then the third time wasn't in an episode at all. It was a Cartoon Network 20th anniversary party bumper. That's the only times he's ever called Courage by his name. What the fuck is a
party bumper?
So it's a bumper is between commercials in a show usually. So it's like you're still watching Cartoon Network.
I got that part. It was
party
the
bumper.
Party part.
It was celebrating the 20th anniversary of Cartoon Network. So that was in 2016, I believe. No. Yes.
No.
Because 96, 2006, 2016 would be 20. So
why would were they still showing Courage in 2016?
No, they did their nostalgic plug. Basically.
This is one of those things where Cartoon Network does occasionally, where they show old shows in a commercial to be like, "Hey, remember when we were cool?" And you're like, "Yeah, can you put those shows on Boomerang?" And they go, "No." Here's 14 hours of Tom and Jerry.
Here's Gumball. Which
Gumball's fucking great.
It is.
Don't fucking throw shade on
It's
Gumball.
a graphic designer's wet dream, for God's sure.
We've all seen the balloon with the eggplant, so
I didn't think that was real. I had to double check that was actually a real thing. I also really like that kid goes, "Since you were talking about it all the time, where?" And then just cut it off.
Just cut it off.
But
so more of the trivia.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Eustace doesn't use his mask to scare Courage in this episode. Obviously, instead he uses a similar method to Tex Avery cartoons.
Booga booga booga.
That's the exploding eye thing. That's like when the big bad wolf from the old cartoons
would look at a hot lady.
And be like, "Woohoo! Woo, 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 boom, 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 boom," and his eyes would pop out of his thing, and then you're like, "Droopy dog."
Yep.
Do the same thing.
This is one of the first few episodes where the monster is the protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's based off the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and this is the first time. That's the same fucking thing.
Hey, it's almost like you're on Wiki.
I'm on fandom.
Sites,
I'm not
and we've discovered that it's still really bad.
You gotta be careful on those
Although
sites,
I do want to add some other things. So the voice for the Hunchback is kind of contested.
It's not Michael Caine.
Nope, it's not. Jim Cummings is credited, but at the same time they can't confirm it on the wiki. So it could still be Michael Caine.
It's not. It's Jim Cummings.
Yeah.
By the way, if you don't know who Jim Cummings is, dear listener, if you've heard Winnie the Pooh, that's him.
Yep. He is a wonderful voice actor.
Wish I could get a hold of who right now.
Who doesn't have any allegations out about him at all.
He's also the same guy in the previous episode on the last podcast we covered. He was one of the 2 cat bandits at the beginning of the Curse of Ramses. So
Was he now?
Yes, he was one of those 2.
He was, and he's
Which one? The tall one or the short one?
It does not say. I don't think this wiki goes that in depth.
It doesn't. Again,
there's also
definitely not being accused of anything right now.
There's also a very fun debate at the bottom of the Hunchbacks wiki.
About what Jim Cummings is being accused of online?
No, this is like 2013 is when this debate happened.
That's probably good.
It's people are fighting about whether he was a villain or not. One of the mods finally came in and said, not every episode of Courage has a villain. The Hunchback is not a villain in this episode. And then he adds, did you even watch it?
It's like
mic drop.
Wait, hold on. They were actually asking if he was the villain or not?
Yeah, there was one person that said
it's Eustace, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, there's one person that said he's not a villain. Another person's like, well, every episode has a villain though. And then someone was like, but it was Eustace, and the mod stepped in and ended it, pretty much.
And called them dumb.
He was just like, did you even watch it? And walked away. Which I'm sure is the most powerful flex that you could do in 2013.
As a mod for a fanfiction website? Definitely.
Yep, for sure. Alright, that's it for trivia and these facts that I found on this episode.
That's good. And Jim Cummings is definitely not being accused of anything currently.
I'm not at liberty to say.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's allegedly not being accused of anything.
It's that was a different time. No, that's not the correct answer to that.
No, especially because the allegations came out earlier this year.
Oof. Oof. Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well,
anyways,
I just had to sully this fun part.
It started sad. Let's end it sad.
Oh, we still got another episode, Dad.
Oh,
I know, but
right.
we have to rate this one, motherfucker.
That's
I
right.
know. I think we should rate it.
Size out of 5.
This is such a wholesome episode, though.
Yeah,
at the end, he shows a really big bell. I think we should do big bells out of 5.
All right, I agree with you all.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna give it a 4. It's a 4 big bells out of 5 because it's just a great episode, and I'm gonna stick to my conviction of trying really hard not to rate anything.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's such it's one of those episodes where it's like it's not scary and it's not like grumpy or bad, but it's just like it's one of those old school 90s cartoon episodes where it's like it's got the weird factor going on but also teaches you a lesson.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's
got funny moments. It has everything in it that you'd want.
An 80-year-old man falling off a roof.
Amen, brother.
It's got everything.
It's got everything you could possibly want.
Everything you could possibly need. Oh, now you're sticky. But yeah, I think that it should be a 4 big beller out of 5, just because it actually made me feel nice and fuzzy inside at the end of it all. Sure. I liked it that way.
I'll go next. Since you are cleaning yourself
Sheldon's
up.
all sticky.
Yeah, I'm taking off my shirt.
We gotta put an explicit tab on this podcast.
Don't worry. All these
white
podcasts
skin.
have explicit on it.
Oh, baby.
One podcast we opened up just with the word fuck. So I was like, well, there's no way this is getting through the censor.
Wait, which one was that?
I don't remember. It was one of the
I now have to go back into
all of them.
It's not the very first word, but no, yes.
Can you guess who in the Courage of the Cowardly podcast is?
Yes, my goal at the end of all of these podcasts is to make us part of that actual Courage wiki.
No.
And then someone goes
I can do it in like 30 seconds, I think.
Well, I was really hoping someone out of the blue would do it.
Okay.
So, but I give it like you 4 out of 5 bells because I do agree it's not a scary episode. It's not the most memorable episode, but it is also It's funny. It has a point. It keeps you engaged. Like you're watching it, you're not like, oh yeah, that's great kind of thing. And it also has its moments of just like pure what the fuck. So mostly of Eustace's eyes.
Fuck. Well, I guess I'll rate it 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Oh, you would.
Not because of anything bad, but I actually forgot about the episode afterwards. So.
Oh well, that warrants a 3. So there you go.
I personally was like, it's good, it's fine. It's not a great episode by any means.
It was episode 7 that we started with fuck. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Why did you go back and never mind?
I had to verify.
You had to, so you listened to the
Taylor
start
will
of
do
every
anything
episode
as long as it proves someone else.
during a podcast, during us recording an episode.
It was really hard for me to figure out talking when.
Oh God!
I was sitting here like, wait, is that in this episode or in the yes episode? As I was sitting here like, nope, that's not. Nope, that's me. Nope, no, that's nope. It's
Wait, I'm not talking right now.
And I was like, oh, there it is. It's episode 7 that we start with that.
It's okay. All of our episodes are labeled explicit for
I see that now.
explicit reasons.
We should try to do one that we don't have to. But then I gotta not talk.
We should find the most wholesome episode and do it for that. Right?
We should do it. We should do it over an episode of South Park.
I promise.
Oh, yes.
We should just talk really wholesomely about South Park episodes.
Talk about the meaning about Trey and Matt Parker. Trey Stone and Matt Parker. That'll be great.
Oh, wait. So there's that. Anything else we want to talk about? The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
I think we've all settled our dispute.
Yeah, I think that's most of it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a good episode. It's fun. It's subverting your expectations. It's nice. Go watch it. It's good. And then you can roll right on in to the Gods Might Be Goosey. Somebody shoot that goose.
Before we start this episode, this is one of the episodes where I immediately remembered the ending just by seeing the title card. Goose. I was like, oh yes, I remember how this one ends. Even as a child, I went, well, that just happened.
Man, we all fall in love with whoever we choose to fall in love with.
Yeah, I don't judge. It's 2019. I get it. If you are a autosexual, I get it.
It could be a truck.
To be fair, Queen made a song that was called "I'm in Love with My Car," and it was written by Roger Taylor, the drummer, who continues to act like he didn't write it because he was just really infatuated with his car. But by the way, there's absolutely a My Strange Addiction where a guy fucks his car.
I've seen that. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
If you have never watched that, you really need to. Because
he apparently had to go to the hospital.
He had 3rd-degree burns.
Yeah, you don't fuck the engine, buddy.
He put his penis in the tailpipe.
Oh God, no! It's even worse.
But now he's built another apparatus to do it.
No.
And his father was on it too, and he's just like, "Yeah, I don't want to be here."
Yeah, no. The father had to agree to be interviewed. He can't just be like, "No." Like.
Did you see the episode? He basically was.
Yeah, he did actually.
Well, yeah, he didn't want to do it.
He basically was like, I don't know what to say about this. Yeah. I don't.
It was amazing.
God, I hate that.
It was so good. All right.
Every level except physical. I have a car.
Not anymore.
That would have been a better episode. Oh my God! Someone would have to put a seat on him.
Hurry, MTV, contact us. We have an idea.
Vanessa, and I like to bathe in bleach.
That also was an episode. That also,
yeah, and the numerous hoarding episodes.
I'm gonna take my headphones off and just podcast.
Yeah, sure, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Take off my cans. Also, can we take a minute and talk about how in the industry people refer to headphones as cans?
Yeah,
I did not know this until now.
It's the silliest fucking thing in the entire world.
You know what? Right?
No, shut up. if you're out there and you refer to your headphones as cans, stop waxing your hipster mustache.
Oh, come on! It's not just hipsters.
And go find a real hobby.
Tim, I haven't even fucking heard of this situation until just now.
It's an insider. So either it's a hipster thing or an insider industry thing, right?
And both are stupid.
Like, you don't call a person who does lighting a lighter. You call him a gaffer. Like, it's shit like that.
What?
Yeah. Like, in our industry.
Don't forget about the best boy.
I've been a best boy before.
Welcome to Best Boy, where you can buy your best boys.
That's what
Can I help you?
I had a teacher literally in college just go, well, that's what the best boy does. And he said it in such a creepy and weird way that we went, ugh.
I watched the Best Boy.
Like, I know what a best boy is, but don't say it like that.
That's what Harvey Weinstein calls it. Was
everyone around him.
You're just a best boy.
You're my best boy.
Give me the best boy.
The best boy on your rack.
Stupid.
Send me 4 best boys to my suite immediately.
I have some modem trouble.
Yeah, but,
make them bring their coconut oils and gaffer tape.
Which is, yeah, I own several. But
it's fucking tape, Tim.
It's tape that doesn't tear up carpet or anything off the floor.
It's just like masking tape.
It's like painter's tape.
It is just, yes, it exactly is.
It's almost like there's
stickier.
another term for it that would totally work for shit, but here we are because we got to be industry insiders and use other words.
Don't worry, I've been through all.
It's like, what's that? Oh, it's not a pencil. It's a Scribomatic 4000.
What is a clothespin called in the industry? I forgot what it's called.
I swear to God,
if it's not a clothespin, I'm gonna yell at you.
It's a number. It's actually called a number.
Hey, America, this is why Hollywood needs to take another revamp and become less dumb.
C-47. C-47. Sorry.
You're fucking...
I'm not. No, it's C-47. And let me find the origin, because I never understood it. One has it that C-47 refers to extremely versatile type of military plane during World War II, and clothespins are also extremely versatile in film production, which is not exactly true.
Fucking reason to call it that, though.
Also, some other people say that C-47 was simply a catalog number for the bag of clothespins. So if you had a spreadsheet, you go, oh, go grab me C-47. What is that? The fucking clothespins. Go grab the clothespins. So
it's
because they didn't know what a clothespin was, right?
Yeah,
this is just elitist culture to a fucking T.
No, it's just stupid. It's people just trying to flex on other people.
No, it is creating a fucking terminology for an industry for shit that is already in the world, so people not in the industry can fucking feel inferior for not understanding.
Yes, and it also makes people who just walk into the industry feel like they're fucking stupid, even though they're like, go get the fucking painter's tape and go get the goddamn clothespins.
Gonna fucking start just saying, hey, could you give me some 347s before I go to work? see if that doesn't get me fucking kicked out of my house.
Give me some gaffer tape while you're out there, please.
To be fair, though, gaffer tape is different than masking tape.
I'm gonna punch you.
I mean, like, it's apples to oranges here.
Yeah, man. It's not 100 like. Yeah.
Apples to crab apples.
Anyways, we're talking about an episode here.
No, I'm gonna
Are we though?
I'm gonna yell at your industry for a while.
I didn't go to school to be yelled at. Actually, I did go to school to be yelled at.
Yeah, I was like, you're in the industry. Yes, you did.
I went.
But
she's so
the reason we did this. Aside is because the gods might be Goosey. Also, must be Goosey. It's a reference to a film from South Africa called The Gods Must Be Crazy. And here we are talking about it on this podcast. And this episode is a time. Compared to The Hunchback, it is a complete tonal shift.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I can sum up this. I can, yeah, we can really sum it up in like that. Really, that's it. But plot. I'm gonna run through plot. Let's talk about the episode after I run through plot, okay?
Sure.
Okay, go on.
Like, let me just do this because here's the thing. If you look at the plot comparatively, like if you look at the plot between the Hunchback and the plot between Gods Must Be Goosey, the Hunchback is 1, 2, 3, 4.5 paragraphs, probably. I'd say that's about 500.
Yeah.
The Gods Must Be Goosey, maybe 150.
It's 2
words.
paragraphs and then 1 sentence at the very end.
So here's the thing. Gods Must Be Goosey. Eustace working on a truck. Truck looks good. Everything is great, except his horn doesn't work, which is apparently the only thing wrong with the truck, which I don't understand why he's taking so much. They make horns, dude. But anyway, I used to sell them when I worked in an auto parts store. You could get a horn that you could program to fucking do the cucaracha, and it was the best horn in the entire world, and I might go buy it for my new pickup. But
No.
it's probably super insensitive these days. But anyway,
I can imagine someone walking down the street, you just hitting that horn.
They just beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, they just
It also
start
had the
chasing
Dukes of
everything.
Hazzard horn, so you could cover both gambits.
Yeah.
Welcome to the South.
We're not in the South.
we should do a watching of Song of the South and talk about why Disney. But while Eustace is outside, he's working on his truck. The horn doesn't work. There's a cloud, and in this cloud, there's a goose, and it's an Adonis goose. He's a Zeus goose, and this Zeus goose can't find love. His clouds are full, but his heart is empty. And so he's trying to figure it out, throwing some lightning bolts around, because that's what you do when you're sad, is you just punch things.
Hey, man. I don't know about you, but I do punch the
When you're sad?
No, I do when I'm angry.
Sheldon walks around the house, goes, old Yeller really got me in the feels. Puts a hole
They
in the
didn't
wall.
have
And then
to
I
kill
throw
the
old
dog.
Yeller.
Yes, they did. It had ribbies.
No, I know it did, yeah, but I'm just saying it's sad.
He's
Anyway.
my dog. I'll put him down.
That's my dog, Paul. I'll put him down.
Jesus
Come
Christ.
back.
That fucking kid was a terrible shot. But old Yeller. Wait, God Must Be Goosey. Goose Zeus. The Goose Zeus is throwing some shit around, and Muriel and Courage bring out their flowers, which I think goes to show why nothing grows on the bag farm, because they can't keep indoor plants alive.
Listen, man, the waters from the faucet to the plant, it's a little difficult.
Yeah, we figure out soon why the eggplants won't grow either.
Just so far. But the goose sees Muriel, and he is very excited about Muriel and her girth. And
That's a way of saying that.
well, that's the thing, is like
big.
it's one of those things where I can't not say it that way.
Damn, she's
Because
got curves.
The reason he wants her is because she's a big lady.
Yeah.
He says that.
So fat.
Like, he liked that. And so he's like, he fell in love with her immediately. By the way, the goose this entire time honks. Hold on to that thought.
Mm-hmm.
The goose then comes down. He's got flowers and chocolate. Rides a cloud chariot. Courage sees him, freaks out, runs inside, and the most inaccurate description of any fucking thing Courage has ever seen.
Yeah.
Because
He's an evil fire-breathing goose.
he shapeshifts into a fire-breathing goose, and all three of us went, none of that happened.
He got the general shape of him right. That's the only thing that was correct.
Like, normally, Courage
But
is
he was
like...
carrying chocolates and flowers. What the fuck, Courage?
Yeah, like, never mind. But normally, Courage is at least semi-accurate on what the intent of the creature is, right?
Right.
This is not even correct. And he comes out to meet Courage, or the goose is going to be there. He freaks out, hides, because they came outside to see him, and he's like, it can't be seen, which we were like, but you want to be seen. This doesn't make any sense.
But
apparently.
he's like, no, this is
He's a shy boy.
He's a shy
and so
boy.
He then throws his shit at Courage, the flowers and the chocolates. Go, Sheldon.
chocolates. And then all of a sudden Eustace barges in and he goes, God damn it, Eustace. Muriel, have you fucking seen what you got there, Courage? And he grabs a hold of the fucking chocolates and the flowers, and then Muriel starts going, Oh, Eustace, you sweet man. You got me chocolates and flowers.
To which again, Courage pushes them apart and is also upset that Eustace got to give her the chocolates and the flowers, but is also upset that a goose, is trying to get him his mom as well. That's what I'm calling it now.
Okay, I was gonna say you're making a lot of liberties here.
Hey man,
She's a fur mama.
she's my mom, not theirs.
Don't call your fucking dogs fur babies.
Yeah, you don't have. If you don't have kids, you don't have fucking babies.
I mean,
Please,
like,
for
I
God
get it.
Christ.
I love your
I mean,
dog.
dogs
Actually,
are way better than kids.
I'm gonna roll that back.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I'm gonna roll that back. You call your dog whatever you want. I'm not gonna judge you anymore.
it's
as long as
fine.
you don't like make out with your dog, I'm not.
Yeah,
as long as you don't force the dog to do things that it obviously
don't, in casual conversation, refer to them as babies and nothing else. Because then I think I have to buy a onesie for your child for a fucking party, and then I show up and you only have dogs.
Tim, did something happen to you? That seems oddly specific.
No, I don't want to talk.
I do.
No, that did happen to me
to
once.
the couch, Tim.
I walked that. Yeah.
Yeah, that did happen to me once, where somebody I knew I worked with, she had not a baby shower. It was some kind of just like party that she threw. I was like, "Oh, here, this is for your baby." And she's like, "I don't have a baby," and I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, Denise! God damn it!"
Oh man, I hope her name was Denise.
I hope so.
Her name is not Denise.
This is my shout out to a friend of mine named Lauren who might listen to the episode. Hey, you can still call your dog a fur baby and do whatever you want. I'm sorry. I went a little too spicy.
The only reason you don't want them to call fur babies is because you want to back down from this comic.
I want to back down very hard because I felt like a really bad friend.
It's one thing to call them fur babies, but don't call them just straight babies. Don't call them your children, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I guess
that's fine.
I can see that.
Like a fur baby, I've been like, okay, let's buy a dog treat instead of a fucking onesie. Like,
I got you. So you're dealing with people that literally call their, like, that you were having a conversation when they're like, oh, I've got 3 boys, and you're like, okay, and
I got a house full of boys, and I'm like, oh, I understand. How old? 3 months, 2 years, 5 years. I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, they're all toddlers. Let's get a onesie. She could use it somewhere. Fuck it.
Yeah. So there's that. I had to back down super hard. I said that, and I was like, I gotta not be as mean.
I'll take the stance. Fuck it.
Yeah, no. Like, Dobby's wonderful. Anyway.
Moving on.
Anyway. Back to the goose fucking middle.
By the way, there's the insight into my life where I gotta. But anyway. Yeah, so Goose comes down and is upset that this is happening. And then Courage is also upset. Goose knock on door open. Here's Muriel. Goose goes, I can give you so many things. Come be my queen. And shows this endless field of flowers. And she goes, no, I've already got somebody, and slams the door. Well, shuts the door.
Yep.
And Courage is like, got you.
You dumb goose.
By the way, he skipped over my favorite part. He goes, I have to pronounce my love for you. And she goes, okay. He goes, he says whatever. She goes, you pronounced it correctly. Like, you fucking, damn.
That is a good line.
Yeah.
And then that shuts, and then the goose makes all the flowers die. And Eustace comes into the house and goes, who was that? Muriel goes, it was only an admirer. And he was like, cool, you see my screwdriver, and leaves.
Which is exactly how my family works in real life.
How many admirers came to your house for your parents, Tim?
Not a lot, but I think my mom, like,
that's more than 0.
I don't know. It's just like I would sit there.
Listen,
in my family
admirers are
home.
fine. Prospects are not.
It could just be how my parents are, right?
Prospectors,
so, like,
even worse.
I'll give you gold.
I come to your house.
Let me
come to your house. And then dig up your yard, look for some gold, and then leave you.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, don't fall in love with a prospector. They'll take your gold and leave, or they'll shoot you on the side of a mountain like in the Sierra Madre.
Jesus Christ. No, but when I was younger, my parents are just funny people, I guess, would be a good way of putting it. And my mom would answer the door.
And your mom had a lot of admirers, I know.
I guess. Fuck me. I don't actually know. Like this, if you don't know what a Swans man is, the Swans is a traveling food seller.
Like ice cream, right?
Yeah, they sell ice cream, but they also sell other food.
They sell the little cups of ice cream. They sell golden nugget bars. They sold pizzas. They sold those little tacos that had no flavor that you would bake in the oven and they wouldn't taste anything. But they sold other flavorless things.
I do remember when I was a kid, my mom answering the door and being like, "No, we don't want anything this week. Whatever." He's like, "All right, I'll be back next week." But I want you. And my dad would go, "Who was that?" Mom's like, "It's a secret admirer." Dad goes, "Okay, where's my hammer?" The same shit. The same goddamn thing.
So that happens. And we just have a slew of goose antics trying to woo Muriel. Courage trying to get Eustace to pay attention. So let me run through just a few of them so we're all on the same page.
Sure.
They're the good old endless field of flowers.
Yep.
There's a poem.
Yes.
And it's a poem, which, do you have a transcript of it? Because I didn't get a chance to grab it.
I can find it real fast.
I just remember Goosey Spring.
Goosey Spring, yes.
Give me a second here. But the poem.
All right, I'll vamp. It's a poem. It's a very nice poem that is very poorly written and courage.
Heard slam poetry in high school.
It's not slam poetry. It's just bad poetry. Okay, everybody, close your eyes. All right, you've got your eyes closed. Good. Now, all of you, and remember back when you were in high school and you were just learning how English works. And you think, hey, I know the best way to get my feelings out is to write my crush a poem. And you write her a terrible poem with bad rhymes and a terrible slant rhyme scheme. Now, imagine that feeling and the dread that you're feeling right now. Now, go ahead and multiply that by 14, and that's probably how this goose felt while he was writing that, except in the opposite way. Would you take a ride on the feet herd of feathered goosey wings and be my queen I, your goosey king?
Okay, so you found it. Fuck me, right?
Yeah. Then all days be sunny and all days be spring. Ever, ever goosey spring.
There's something about a fucking adolescent goose nerd just oh, that'll do it. Yeah.
Yep. And that's it.
Posting it to his crush's locker, and she's nice about it. She's like, that's real sweet. But no.
I thought I was a real okay. So there's a point in every person's life, but especially most high school boys' life or something along those lines where you're I'm really in touch with my shit. And you're really especially if you're not the cool guy that gets everything you want.
Right.
That you're I got this. I'm gonna be in touch with shit. I'm gonna write stuff. I wrote one fucking poem in high school. I wrote one.
Right.
And I can't find it.
Could you instant message that to each of us? Because
I would.
Be really
he can't find it though. He doesn't know.
Because I would read it today if I could. I 100% would. Right. But I can tell you right now, this is the height of the Iraq War.
No, what a footnote.
What a heel turn, right? This is at the height of the Iraq War.
Baby, I love you as
for
much
a girl.
as Osama's blood.
I'm sorry, I can't breathe. Hold on.
What the fuck? So can I imagine what does this poem have to say in it, right? This poem has to say Oh my god.
Oh no. I can remember at least one line.
It was the height of the Iraq War. So you can just imagine. No, I can't.
Wait, is the line baby mission accomplished?
I was a junior in high school and we had to write poetry.
Spearhead.
Yep.
And one of the assignments was we had to find a picture, in a magazine or online, and write a poem about it. I don't think I can send you the
next
picture
time
that I found.
It. Oh, you found the picture?
I can't. I don't think I can find it right now without the clickety.
Sure. We can find it later.
but I will describe it to you. It is a man who is very clearly in either Iraq or Afghanistan. He has blood running down part of his face. He has half a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. He has stubble. He has dirt everywhere. And I looked at that picture and I was like, yeah.
God bless.
I got this shit.
Hell yeah.
I can encapsulate this feeling in a poem. And the fucking first line that I remember is, I sit here in the cradle of civilization.
Oh, no.
Which was a reference between the area between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which is where fucking Iraq sits.
Well, yeah, but Jesus Christ.
And I went super deep after that.
Bravo.
And I sit here and I go, my English teacher fucking loved that poem. Thank you. And kept a copy of it. And I felt really accomplished.
Hold on.
And as a 27-year-old man, I now go, I shouldn't have written that.
Super cringy. Yeah. No, it's
okay.
So,
we all have those cringy moments. It's fine.
So, first question. Did you have to read that to the class?
Sure did, Dad.
Oh, yes, I knew it. Okay.
Sure did. Guess what, though?
Slow
At
clap,
the moment, I was like, I beat all of you.
Yeah, you won. You probably got an A on it.
Like, this was the time that I was like, I'm gonna On the Road by Jack Kerouac.
Sure.
I'm gonna read a bunch of Kurt Vonnegut. And like, Kurt Vonnegut's fucking great, by the way. Go read Vonnegut.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
it's good, but
Kerouac, as bad, but like,
As
all
an
of this
uncultured
shit.
swine, I'll take your opinion under advisement.
It was one of those times where I was like, I'm gonna be the cultured guy. I went to a high school of 300 fucking people.
It wasn't that hard to be the cultured person.
In a small town in Kansas.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck, right?
But like, what you wrote about was perfect for your audience, right?
Oh, it was.
Probably.
Yeah, it's so my brother.
I had a recruiter come up to me, and I just went,
sure.
I don't want to join anymore. Turns out I didn't want to get shot.
So
God bless our troops.
I had the same assignment in high school. Mine didn't go anywhere. I don't even remember what I wrote. I did write a lot of poetry in high school. My brother also had the same assignment that we had. And the teacher liked it so much, he submitted it to a contest, and he won the contest of his poem.
Well,
I just remembered that I might have a copy of that in hardback because our school put out.
Was it in the yearbook?
Sheldon and I went to the same school.
Was it in the yearbook, or was it like a newsletter or something?
No, they would put out at the end of the year senior writing books.
Oh, yes!
But I was a junior, but I still think I might have submitted that because I still remember one of my other friends who submitted a story, who was a gearhead, about how rad it was to work on cars, and it was a fucking trip. But I might have that somewhere. I might have to make some phone calls. If not, we could probably talk about that later.
Well, that'll be a excursion.
It'll be the introduction to the next
episode.
Yeah,
that'll either be on the next episode or we'll have it somewhere else.
But I'm going to go ahead and say it's not going to be on the next episode because it's going to be a while before I find it because I guarantee you it's in a box somewhere.
Make sure you keep tabs on our Twitter and YouTube for that update.
My God.
I'll do a deep.
At least it wasn't on this episode where the goose talks about fucking a woman.
Oh my God, no! But like, I just had a flood. I'm sweating. Like, you guys don't know this.
No,
I'm sitting in a room with full air conditioning. Still sweating.
Oh, I can only assume.
Like, my brain just clicked on 14 levels. So that happened. So anyway, what I'm saying is that everybody has written some shitty poetry at some point in time, and if you haven't, go home tonight, write some shitty poetry. You'll feel better about yourself, I promise.
If you write poetry and you're a child, make sure someone doesn't steal it and read it to the front of the fucking class.
Submit it to our podcast.
Yes,
yes.
No,
I will read
100% right now. Anyone listening, please send us an email. Or DM us some of your shitty poetry. We won't put your names attached to it unless you want us to.
Yes,
but that would 100% be the most amazing episode.
I would love you.
By the way,
if there's enough, we'll dedicate it to the book.
If it's good poetry, I won't. You can send that too. I won't make fun of you.
Yeah, we won't be assholes about it. Like we'll just read it as is.
Now, I might, but that's because I'm not great at poetry.
We'll comment on it probably here and there, but if it's really
that'd
good
be
poetry,
the best thing in the entire world. So that happens. So Goosey spring, which is weird. Back to the episode, boys and girls.
We took a tangent.
We're already past where he confessed his love to her, and she slams the door on him.
Yes.
She didn't slam the door.
She shut
on
it.
him,
I know.
but she said no.
And because she's married.
But to nice guys out there, it might as well have been a slam door.
Yeah, this duck is getting friend zoned hard.
Goose.
Whatever.
And then there's a difference.
Geese
and then,
are meaner.
Courage,
true.
Yeah, Courage takes the letter, takes the Eustace, where he blows his nose in it.
As
then
the
we
elegant
have.
man he is.
Then we have the next thing, which is the goose outside the kitchen window singing her a song on a lute. When a goose god loves a woman big and round. When a goose god loves a woman, the goose god makes this sound, honk honk. And Muriel goes, oh, lovely. And Courage is like, don't listen, please.
For God's sakes.
Goose.
And then, again, Courage runs to Eustace. Eustace scares Courage with the mask. Then we get another time with Muriel in the bathtub, which I did not want.
Yep.
Too
which
bad,
I
you
thought.
got it.
Which, by the way, before they went there, like Courage goes, "All right, I know what to do," or something like that, and then it cuts to there, like, "No, Courage, no, no,
Don't jump in the bath.
don't, no."
I'll marry Muriel. Then the goose can't have him.
Whatever.
Both.
Yeah.
And then outside the window, Eustace's hat is on a stick, which begs the question: does he have multiple hats, or did Courage steal one?
As
and
a
then
hat person myself, yes, multiple hats.
oh, you identify as a hat person?
Courage paper mache'd this hat in the time that he needed it.
I was gonna say, I guess you haven't seen me too many times in real life. Yes, I am.
No, I've seen your hats.
I have more.
No,
than
I know. As a
Tim's
man
got
who's looking
special
at a door
fucking
with
hat.
many hats. Yeah, he's got, ladies, you know you're in for it when Tim puts on his fucking hat.
Oh, I was
As-
talking
as a
about him
man-
literally fucking his hat,
Oh no! Well, no.
Tim.
I mean, no.
Why would anybody do that?
That's weird,
Says
right?
Tim, shifty-eyed,
As a man who people for,
slides his Jessica Rabbit hat under the desk.
as a man with multiple hats around him right now, I will tell you that
How
when
many
people,
you got? How many you got? Count them right now.
Dora the Explorer. Let's do
Rick
it.
and Morty.
No, I want
Mario.
numbers. I don't give a shit about this. I want numbers.
1,
I don't
2,
care what's on
3,
it.
4, 5, 6. That's a hat. 6, 7, 8. When you say hat, what do you mean?
A
Literally,
fucking hat. A thing that
goes
covers
on
your head.
fucking
Good.
head,
9, 10.
man.
There's 10.
What the fuck do you have that goes on your head that you have to question if it's a fucking hat or not?
Well, technically, it's also gloves.
How is it?
Oh, fuck you.
I have 11.
That's just
have
in this
0.
room.
In my office, I have 11.
That's just this
I have
room.
technically 1.
That's my room too, bud.
I know. I have at least 5 more right outside this room.
Oh, stop with your fucking hat.
And only one of. No, I'm gonna measure all my hats. Courage is on a harp, playing a beautiful song. Muriel, we're done with this hat bit.
Yeah, good.
He gets frozen by the Goosey winds. I'm sorry. Then the Goosey gust. Oh my God, Goosey Gus would be a great children's book figure.
That has to be already a
fucks
thing
Muriel
already.
Becks.
Well, then Sheldon ruined the fucking children's book I'm gonna write now.
Oh, trust
Then we
me,
cut.
It'll sell better.
Oh, that's already a thing.
What?
Goosey Gus, 1925, IMDb short comedy.
God damn it!
He's already written a screenplay. Damn it!
Taylor's gone back in time.
Hey, throw it away!
It's over. It's almost 100 years old. It's 94 years old.
Is that in public domain?
I don't know. actually.
Goosey Gus.
It
goes
depends
to
on
the-
who owns it. If Disney owns it, then no.
Disney owns a no.
Uh,
Goddamn Satanist.
Has anybody else seen the Matchstick Girl by Disney?
No.
No.
No, I have not.
Go watch it. Be sad.
The fun thing about Goosey Gus is that Goosey Gus does not have a Wikipedia page, but an IMDb page.
Weird. Anyway, fuck it. I'll talk about my children's book exploit later. The goose sings a Wagner song about
it's Flight of
Goosey and
Valkyries.
Muriel.
Yeah.
I know. And Courage tries to candygram it and doesn't do a very good job with it because the goose interrupts with a feast. And guess what? Muriel's famished. And then Courage tries to make Eustace dance, but it's a cutout and he falls through it. And we want to know why he had a cutout of him. The goose again still tries to get Muriel to go with him. She says no because she's in love with Eustace.
Someone I love.
Courage shows up with a suitcase to Albany, which, hey, Albany.
Why did people...
Apparently you're trash.
Yeah.
Ooh. Or maybe he wanted the goose to have a nice trip. Who knows?
No.
I didn't say it.
No.
Courage did.
Courage did.
So then the goose goes, if I can't have her, I'll take her.
Like the nice guy that he is.
Yeah, because when a woman doesn't like your dances, she's a whore.
Yeah, no, that's a bad...
So I must force her to love me.
Yeah.
Please,
if
God,
a woman
no.
just wants you to be your friend, guess what? That means that she's just sucking everybody else's peenie everywhere else.
Except yours.
Except yours, Terry.
Damn.
You know who you are.
The friend zone doesn't exist. Nice guys are shitheads. Don't be that one. Which is the dumbest thing in the entire world to say, because every boy that was ever in high school at some point in time was a nice guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they were also friend
that
zoned
step.
by at least
But
one
we've
girl.
also hit that step where we're like...
No. I mean, we might have. But the collective world hasn't. There are still people that are like in their 40s. I've been on TikTok that don't understand how that works.
Yeah, so is this a good place to talk about your TikTok intervention? Should we do this now?
Yeah.
All I'm saying, hey,
Tim and I have been talking to each other.
all I'm saying is that if you've not been on Reddit TikTok cringe, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's the best fucking subreddit ever.
I don't care what you do in your life, Taylor, but god damn it, stop sending me there.
Taylor.
I don't have an account because
Taylor,
I
we're
won't.
worried about you.
I understand that you don't have a TikTok
The
account.
cringe is so good, dude.
I do, and god damn that cringe.
I
is
just
bad.
took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100%, man.
100%
Cringe
Whoa.
addict.
Cringe,
I don't know.
okay.
Also,
that's
Lizzo is fire. But anyway,
Fuck.
Get out.
she's great. I'm sorry, do you have a problem with Lizzo?
Right now.
No.
You have a problem with Lizzo? You want to do this shit right now? Because I guarantee you it's going to be a flame war on the internet about how you don't like Lizzo. Everybody likes Lizzo. She plays the flute and twerks.
Anyways,
At the same time.
are we getting to the point where the Courage?
Yeah, no, we're getting to the point where the goose ducks Muriel and Courage honks the horn of the truck and knocks Eustace out. The goose falls in love. They keep honking the horn. Turns out the goose just wants to fuck the truck. They get invited to a wedding. Eustace cries about the loss of his truck. And that's the end of the episode.
And then Courage honks. Thank
What a
you very
fast
much.
turnaround. Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with autoerotic asphyxiation.
Nope, not at all. Not
I'm
one
nothing
bit.
without my truck.
Yeah.
When you guys first heard the term autoerotic asphyxiation, did you think a truck was involved?
No.
No, I
Okay,
thought
just
about
me.
a fucking noose, but that's fine.
But auto, like a vehicle, like an
But
automobile.
it didn't help the first time I heard autoerotic asphyxiation. It pretty much was a documentary about what
I was gonna say, like, I also saw a picture next to it. I'm like, oh, why?
It's a David Carradine home video.
The first time I heard about it was on South Park, and I'm like, why are they dressed as superheroes? Never mind, I don't want to know.
I'm Quail Man.
Like, nope,
Doug
no.
Funny confirmed autoerotic.
You haven't seen the Robot Chicken episode, have you?
I have.
Oh, God.
We talk about how unfunny Doug is.
It's not that
Yeah.
hard to talk about.
It's so unfunny.
It's an awkward comedy.
Oh, it's not even an awkward comedy, Tim. It's just unfunny.
Wow.
Just go back. Have you watched it, bud? Have you watched it
Recently?
as an
No.
adult?
Wait.
Yeah, go back and watch it.
Which one? The Nick or the Disney one?
Turns out both.
Nope, I don't want to watch either.
Billy
All right.
West is great,
But
however.
Billy West is amazing.
But she didn't say no, Skeeter, so it was fine. No, Doug.
Mose.
She
real-
was drunk. You raped her.
Real quick. Real quick. I do want to talk about one thing regarding Doug. Hey, you fuckers out there that are like making fun of Skeeter for his name being Skeeter and like adding extra. His name is Mosquito. Shut the fuck up. It's a family name.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit.
Also, it's pretty fucking creative for a kids show.
It's just a funny name.
Yeah.
Was the
But-
neighbor kind of creepy?
Yes.
You mean Mr. Dink?
Yes.
Mhm.
Mr. Dink. Really? Mr. Dink is the name they would for that?
Yeah.
Mr. Double Income, No Kids. God
Yeah,
damn
no.
it.
And she's in the movie. She's the mayor
Yeah, that's
because she outs the other mayor.
which is the
I
same
don't
thing they
think
did in
was she
Fairly
the
Odd
movie.
Parents.
Or fuck, was she the mayor in the movie, or
I think it was.
did she become the mayor in the movie?
Oh, it might be that one.
By the way, everyone wondering, Dink means double income, no kids, which means both people have jobs. So if you were also wondering about Fairly Odd Parents, why their name was Dinkelberg,
Dinkelberg, and why they had all that cool shit.
because
Doug,
they didn't
come
have
into
any
my
fucking
garage so I
kids.
can photograph you.
Dog.
Also, look at this trophy that would have been here.
He also called him Douglas.
Douglas. All right. So
Yeah.
the
all
goose
right.
finds his true love,
The car.
That car.
loses his car, and
The reason they.
courage
But
honk.
I don't think I talked about it. The reason they fall in love is because the car honks and the goose honks.
Yeah, you kind of said that. Yeah, you
You
went really
did, but
fast,
we kind of got off on another tangent.
Yeah, no. This is gonna be a long episode, folks.
It's not right now. We're good.
I don't believe you.
So
Yeah, whatever.
for right now, do you want to jump into trivia for the episode?
Yeah,
There's
fucking
not a
throw it
lot,
down.
so don't worry.
Yeah.
Apparently,
No, there's not.
obviously, this is the first appearance of the Goose God. No shit.
I think it's the only
The
appearance.
Goose God's theme is Mozart's Symphony Number 40. That's his theme, not the Flight of the
my favorite.
Valkyries thing.
Yeah, that's just him coming into the scene.
Yeah. This is the first time Courage called Eustace by his name.
Yeah, he doesn't say farmer.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't catch that. Fuck.
And this is
Very
also
fast.
the first, and this is surprising to me, the first non-pilot episode where Eustace uses his mask to scare Courage.
Yeah, Courage is not scared by Eustace until this episode. If you go back and watch the other episodes, Courage is not spooked by him. He's spooked by everything else around him. But
Right, outside
Eustace-
the
Wow.
intro.
I
Outside the
actually
intro of the
didn't-
episode.
I
Yeah.
didn't catch that at all, actually.
Yeah, it's hard because of the intro. Like, they build that up to being a thing.
A booga booga booga.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in the intro, so you think it happens all the time, but it actually does not. So,
Yeah. There's another thing on there if you're WikiHow, not WikiHow, but the god, like they're like this might be a reference to Do Goosey God, which is a palindrome.
I don't think so.
No.
Totally.
It's definitely a reference to the 1980 film Gods Must Be Crazy.
Yeah. That's the other cultural reference. And like,
I have watched parts of The Gods Might Be Crazy for different things. It's different. From 80, released in 84 US, but it's basically a Coke bottle falls from the sky
yeah, I know exactly what
And-
you're talking about, yeah.
and everybody is like, what?
And
try
they
to,
worship
like-
it as like a god, and like,
It's
Yeah.
it's an odd movie. It's a comedy. It's not bad. It's just weird.
it's
like,
a weird thing
it's
to see out of South Africa for sure.
It's a
Right.
weird 1980s comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s.
They do in the wiki, they talk about the confusion of like this episode might be influenced by like Greek mythology, Zeus and Nemesis, but
Zeus
Yeah.
and Goose.
like
And-
Nemesis turns to a goose to avoid Zeus's advances, and Zeus becomes a swan to pursue her. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that has anything really to do with this, to be totally honest.
I
Zeus
think
was
that-
an asshole, so it could.
Zeus fucked everything.
Well, Zeus was like, I'm gonna fuck that, and people were like, no, and he's
And
like,
the answer was yeah.
yes.
Too late. I already fucked it.
What
see
did
that
they-
hor-
what did
that
Goose
cow
fuck?
down here?
Everything.
That bull, don't fuck the bull, Zeus. I mean, what would happen if I did fuck the bull? Said Zeus after he fucked the bull.
Wasn't that story more or less about Hephaestus making a woman fall in love with a bull, and she went, that bull's pretty hot?
I don't remember. I have no idea. To be totally honest.
It's okay.
I think
Greek
you're
mythology's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
And then it was stolen by the Romans, and here we are.
And made even worse. So
yeah.
I hope there's one Roman historian.
It's like,
truthfully, and he gets
like,
really mad that I go,
wrong.
Romans stole fucking everything.
Oh god.
But they did though.
They did though.
Roman mythology is pretty much Greek mythology of different
Roman
ways.
mythology is just shitty. It's just literally Greek mythology plus some bullshit.
So for this this particular episode, I'm thinking that honks should be our
probably.
gauge.
You know what? It's fine. I'll give it.
We'll do that. But like, I don't know. It's such a tonal shift from the first episode that it's such a. That's what gets me.
Because the first episode's wholesome and makes you feel good, and it's like, yeah, that's what you should do. You should judge.
And at the end of this episode, you realize that Goose fucks a truck.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: like that whole episode was about not judging a book by its cover, right?
Right.
Courage immediately judged a book by its cover.
So this guy can't be better than Eustace.
Like
he's a goose.
It's so weird. It's such a weird episode to tie with the Hunchback. Like it really feels one of those episodes that are like, well, we did kind of a serious one. We should probably do a funny one.
Let's slap a funny one on there. And it was funnier.
It was good.
It was a funny
episode. It's a good episode. I mean, I think it's if we're gonna rate now, like a 3, maybe a 2.5 honks.
I'd give it 3 honks.
Yeah, I'll give it 3 out of 5, or 3.5 out of 5.
It's
probably.
not better than the Hunchback, but I would say
all.
about the same.
I mean, I think it's again better
ways.
And again, we're seeing better animation from everybody. We're seeing better lines,
better writing, like better. Like, in general, this is a filler episode for sure. But like at the same time, you're like. It's filler, but it's also kind of fun.
Probably the best filler we've had.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is not Cajun Granny Stew.
I fucking hate Cajun Granny Stew.
It's gonna keep coming up, people.
I know, it's gonna keep coming up, especially the people on the YouTube who are like, why do you hate this?
Somebody thought that Tim Curry voiced the Goose God.
Oh,
are you fucking stupid?
I'm so happy you found that too. I saw that too.
Do you not know what Tim Curry fucking sounds like? Commenter from fucking 2013?
By the way, if you look at that, all those people that are commenting are the same people. That's the same guy going, oh, I feel bad for him.
No, it's just because they don't have a fucking YouTube.
Like still Tim Curry, right?
Like it is. Oh no, you're right. You're right. No, it's a real person. It's an IP address.
Well, I mean, don't fucking dox this man. Jesus Christ.
The IP address is 8675309.
The Goose God was voiced by Paul Schofler. Sorry.
Schaefer?
Schofler?
Probably Schofler.
No, it's Schofler.
Yeah.
Well, Paul Schaefer. Well, Paul Schaefer's the pianist.
He's a goddamn awesome person.
Paul Schaefer's the guy that played piano for
David Letterman.
For David Letterman.
Hell yeah.
And then he was also in Godspell, but it's fine.
No one remembers that part. Don't think of that part.
Did you know? Holy shit!
No,
when Godspell went to Toronto. Fucking Marty Short, Gilda Radner, so many good people were in fucking Godspell.
Bunch of names I don't know.
Oh.
A bunch of names that people older than us will probably know. Anyone younger will have no
I already
idea.
said I was an uncultured swine, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Goose God he's only got one episode. I don't know why they act like
so there is an episode that he cameos in though. Let me find it real fast. He cameos
He's just toasting a bottle of wine.
The Goose God was a lonely goose who wanted a queen. He was persistent, charming.
Ride of the Valkyries.
Yep, and
he cameos in Ride of the Valkyries.
Thank you. God damn it.
Is that the one where he finds the God bone?
I don't know.
I think
we are not there yet. I don't want to play this game.
Yeah, that's later.
Man, I'm not looking at it. I remember.
Yes, it's later. It's in It's in season 3. So
3?
yes.
Hey, guess what? Courage the Cowardly Dog had 4 fucking seasons.
So it's not a cult hit, is what
It's not a cult hit. It didn't get a movie, but it's not a cult hit.
Full
Fucking
circle.
cunts.
I have no idea what a cult hit.
There's a pan pizza. I think I've said this.
Do you want to know what a cult hit is? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is a cult hit.
A cult hit is the Clerks animated series.
Yeah, a cult hit is the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Oh my god. Or the other Ghostbusters series that came out.
Which by the way, they had to call it the real Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters was already taken.
Shit. Oh.
Now I have an actual question because I
by another animated.
Yeah, there's already a ghost. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, no, that's why it was the real Ghostbusters.
Rebel Taxi is a wonderful person. If you ever watch his stuff, he goes over all of this. It's beautiful.
I've heard Invader Zim considered a cult hit. I don't consider it a cult hit. I think it's good.
It got 3 seasons, right?
It had 3-ish seasons.
It had
but
2 seasons.
That's a weird one because like Clone High only had like 1.
I thought that had 2 seasons.
Did Clone High have 2 seasons?
I think Clone High had several seasons because the only reason they stopped was because Clone High.
Oh, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, the only reason Clone High stopped is.
Oh, it's great. It's a great and dumb show.
So
it's a show. You should. It's a show where everyone should. It's a show where everybody gets or like historical figures are cloned. And all are going to high school, like Abe Lincoln, Joan of Arc, Gandhi, JFK. It's great. No, it only had 1
really?
Season,
oh, did that season end because they had Gandhi waging war on people? Yeah, that's what happened.
I don't know.
My last name.
I believe so.
Oh my god.
Do you really want to look it up? So the reason that Clone High stopped eventually is because people were protesting outside MTV headquarters. Because Gandhi was like, no, we gotta take him down. Fuck that dude, or did something like violent.
No.
They're like, Gandhi wouldn't do that.
But
Gandhi was okay with the like cultural abuse of women, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's not for us to decide here on this podcast.
Hey,
you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The answer is he. No. Let's talk about that real quick.
All right, fuck it.
He was not great he would lay naked with a bunch of his female relatives to make sure that he wasn't tempted by them. It was a weird time. It's a very weird time. But hey, you know what? He got the British out of India by not killing anybody, so that's neat. Anyway.
Yeah, I think.
But like other cult hits are like The Critic or Duckman or
Duckman's a good one, dude.
Yeah, but those are things that did not get good or the PJs.
Duckman was I wouldn't PJs maybe.
I think the PJs people liked the PJs.
No, people did. It's just Eddie Murphy got in trouble at the right time for that thing to
Mr. Meaty. A cult classic or a cult hit definitely does not get more than 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Invader Zim, I think you could put it there because it has gained notoriety after the fact.
Yeah.
But like,
there's
Ed, Edd and Eddy is not a cult hit.
There's a thing
it's just a hit.
And I've told you guys, there's a thing that Rebel Taxi has done on his thing, where they go, "Is this a cult hit?" And he goes, "Cult hit? It said 6 season movie." Then he records somebody else screaming, 6 seasons in a movie.
Good.
That's not a cult hit. No, it's not.
Well, how does King Crimson work?
We don't know. Nobody knows.
How does it work? Does he freeze time? Does he stop it?
Go
How
watch.
does it work?
Everybody, please go watch JoJo and its bizarre ass adventure.
That's also not a cult. That's
if you really want to read the manga, but I can't.
No, the show is just as good.
The show is so fucking fun. And stands don't show up till the 3rd season.
The show is just as good, though.
Courage is not a cult hit. Courage is not a beautiful, weird creation that came out of nowhere and is bullshit, and you have this ability to talk about it nostalgically for no fucking substance.
Yeah, it's a product of the time because Cartoon Network is looking for independent cartoons that they could bring onto the network, right? And so they looked at people like, oh, hey, you made a show, make the Powerpuff Girls. Hey, you made a show, come make Dexter's Lab, which is also the same person.
You make a show. We don't know. Just go with it.
And like, yeah, they just brought people on. Like, I think if this pilot goes well, let's just make a show out of it. Obviously, that's the way all this shit should work, and it did. And the only reason
Samurai Jack did not master the art of nothing. Samurai Jack had substance to it. Fuck off.
Samurai Jack was a great show, and
it sure is, and I'm definitely not talking about the fucking thing that we're talking about that caused me to be so angry.
I know, but it's...
I didn't actually watch the new season. So
that's
it was
fine.
Great. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's more Samurai Jack.
All I know is the meme of, well, whip it out, Jackie boy.
Yeah, he did.
That's all I know.
No, it was a little bit more adult, but it was not much more, right? But that's neither here nor there. That's a episode of the Liquid Jack podcast, which will come.
Fuck.
No, that's where we talk about Jack and Daxter.
Oh, yeah. Let's do...
Let me tell you, it all goes downhill after the first.
And I get to be the one that doesn't do anything because I never played the fucking games.
I never had a PlayStation.
So it's basically me talking nonsense.
Yes, you're the host. Tell us everything that's about to happen. We'll watch cutscenes from...
They're everywhere.
We'll find someone on YouTube to show all the cutscenes, and we'll watch that.
There's barely any cutscenes.
I know.
Exactly.
But, like... I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, Chalk Zone got 4 fucking seasons. It's not a cult hit. It's not weird. It existed. Fuck off.
He's got the chalk.
He had the chalk.
Chalk Zone.
Cartoons at this time. Hang on.
All right, here you go.
Cartoons at this time are fucking great. And the shows are great. And they're hitting on weird things. Got things from the late 90s to the early 2000s, and we all remember them, and that's what this podcast is for, where we're trying to look back at one specific one. It doesn't mean we keep our focus to it, but don't, again, from the top of the show, don't just go to shit because they talk about it for just like, it was a show, remember the show? Go to shit that actually gives you something to listen to.
Like go to shit that being shoved into a balloon.
Yeah, and it tells you why to listen to it.
Go to shit, or don't, or just have an opinion on it that isn't just fucking open and Mobius.
Yeah,
don't fucking do that. Don't listen to shit.
Okay, granted, we've been. Go on, sorry, Tim.
I was just saying that guy's content is basically this. This is it. He finds a template online that he can plug footage into, which is fine. I get that.
He's not the only one, though.
No, I know he's not.
That's what I'm hitting at.
No, I know. But this is what it is like, Courage was bad. Courage was good. And then Courage was bad. But what do you think? Like, he does that for video games, too, and it drives me crazy, because it's not...
But he's not the only one.
No, he's not, but...
Like, granted, we've been pretty positive about Courage the Cowardly Dog, but that's how we actually feel. Now, Cajun Granny Stew
fucking was a bad episode.
It's bad.
It was just slapstick. It was funny when it was, but that
stupid. It's a stupid chase episode. It's just every fucking Wile E. Coyote episode, and it doesn't do anything new that Wile E. Coyote didn't already do, and it wasn't a good homage.
Yeah.
And I love the show Courage the Cowardly Dog, but I will sit here and go, that was not a good episode. But go watch it if you like chase shit.
Yeah,
but go watch a better episode.
That's bad, and we'll bitch about how it's bad, and we won't talk about how it's. Oh, but you decide.
No, I don't want. It's not about you deciding. It's like, so all this content. Yes, you're gonna pull your own opinion away from everything that you see and you hear. You go, oh, I agree with that, or I don't. And that's fine. That's what the comment section is about. Yeah.
Like, that's what we're trying to just put shit out there. Like, this is 3 morons watching a show that we loved as kids, or that scared us as kids, trying to go back and say, like, is it the same way? Do we still like it? Is it still fun? And so far, we've been really positive about it, because this is the shit that we're like, this is really cool and fun, and here's basically what happens. Go watch it for yourself, see if you feel the same way. That's great. But here's our fucking opinion about it. I'm not just leaving it Mobius to you.
Yeah,
of like, go do it.
It's
The only
not
one I did that to
appealing.
was King Ramses, because like it's Ramses. Go watch it. Feel your feelings, because it's great.
It's
like
the
it's a
most-
good fucking episode.
Well, and
The
that's
one
the
I did
most
that to
viral
was creepy.
episode out of everything, right? That's the
Yeah.
one that like people think of Courage. They go, "Oh yeah, that's scary, like 3D animation they had in the middle of a kid show." You go, "Yeah, go watch it for yourself."
It's
Bring
It's
it back
weird
to
that we're
us.
so fucking mad about this.
Yeah, I know.
Well, because we have emotion, that's fine.
Well, it just means you have passion for it, right? It's when you write stuff that doesn't take one opinion or another, or like one stance or another. It shows you don't have passion. It shows you're just doing it to do it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, yeah.
I just we're here. We want to actually have that. Like, don't just go to nostalgic shit to feel nostalgic. Go to shit that will make you think about the shit that you looked at
Differently.
in
Yeah.
one way, shape, or form. And like sometimes we're really good at that. Sometimes we're not.
Yeah,
and
we're
I'm gonna
not
be honest with you.
perfect. Yeah, we're not perfect.
But like, and that's the whole thing. Is like, I will 100% agree that there are some times where we're gonna run into episodes where like, this is the episode that I remember the most, and I'm not gonna say shit about it. But I try really hard every episode to come in here with something cool to look at and cool to listen to and cool to talk about or look at or just discuss and make fun jokes about. And the monopolizing of nostalgia is
it's insane. right now. Yeah.
don't just go to something
Yeah.
that makes you feel good. Go to something that
Makes
that
you
is
think.
fun to listen to. Or we don't fucking make people think. We're a comedy podcast about a show with a pink dog, but like we try really hard
We
to
make-
put effort.
We make each of each other think at the current moment.
I mean, like
We-
you can. Yeah.
We put effort into this, and I don't want anyone to accuse us of not. That's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to grab at your nostalgia. I just thought this was a really fun idea.
Hey, do you guys remember Courage the Cowardly Dog? Do you remember how it creeped us out a little bit, but we liked it?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
revisit those thoughts. We're
let's
creepy
see if that
still.
let's see if that shit still works. And guess what? Up to this point, there's only been like 2 episodes that I've physically been like, that's fucking weird, man. Dilworth, why? But the rest of it has still been good on a different level.
Can
and that's what
I,
we're looking at now.
Can I end
Yes.
this on a very different note?
I don't know. Sheldon had thoughts, but we interrupted
Yeah,
him
no,
several
you go ahead.
times.
No, my thought's done. What are you
Okay.
fucking talking about?
Yeah, I think the only thing I want to say is on the wiki, the Gods Must Be Goosey and the Clutching Foot as well are labeled as broken template transclusions.
What the fuck is transclusion?
I don't
don't
think
know.
you just said words.
No, yeah, it's legitimately a thing I found. It's so stupid.
That's not.
It
those
just
aren't
means it
words.
We
didn't
need to
label
come
it
up with
correctly.
meaning for transclusions.
Yeah, I don't know. They just didn't label it correctly. So both of those episodes come up in the wiki as just what is going on. The website has no idea what it stands
Yeah,
for.
see, we're gonna talk about transclusions.
Hey,
You know what that is?
How do they spell transclusions?
TRANSCLUSIONS.
Wait, go back. Fuck this. What?
T-R-A-N.
TRANS
Okay.
CLUSIONS.
Oh no, that's a word, dude.
That is exactly a word.
That's a word.
just means-
like an actual word.
In web development, that
Incom-
just means it's incomplete or something like, right?
Transclusions. Yeah, no, in computer science, transclusions is the inclusion of part or all of the electronic document into one or more other documents by hypertext reference.
Which means that there's something missing that they tried to post on this fucking page but didn't get out there.
We were gonna have the goose rape Muriel, you know.
We're
We decided
gonna
that
show
wasn't
some
good for
fan art
kids.
of the
gonna
goose.
I'm
Oh
gonna
God,
tweet it,
no! I just want to end on that because I saw that and I was like, that's real weird.
So to everybody listening, what the fuck? Like seriously.
To everybody listening that has a Twitter account that wants us to talk to John R. Dilworth,
Message
Someday
John R. Dilworth.
we will get that man on this podcast just
I
to
don't
talk
know.
briefly about
I don't know if his middle name is or his middle initial is R.
it. Well,
It is now.
no, but that's his name, John R. Dilworth.
It's just John Dilworth.
John Russell Dilworth, dude.
No, am I right?
Yeah, you're right. It's John Russell Dilworth.
All right, I'm right.
I need to go buy more beer.
And we need to end this episode.
I mean, yeah. Sorry that we opened and closed on just being kind of grumps.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I want you to not.
It's because we want the world to be a better place.
And I want you, the listener, to have more fun with shit that you have out there. And I want you to be able to have a fun experience and an open discussion about good shit that is out there. And you don't just immediately go to, I remember a thing, it was good. Because that's what Ready Player One was.
Ooh, but people say that's okay.
But people like that movie. It was a good movie.
The book was so much better than the movie.
The book was so much better.
No, he's right. No, the book is not
way
bad.
Better. Yeah.
But the book,
I was
the
about
book,
to be an asshole. Sorry.
The book didn't have those cultural references that the movie tried to play off on.
Well, and if it does it way fucking better.
Yeah.
Than just. Here's the thing. So that's what I mean. Is that we try to do something fun. We try to do something enjoyable. We try to be creative. We try to put something out there in the world that isn't just for your own ego or nostalgia.
But we're not.
And so we try really, really hard to do that.
We're not always a nerd nostalgia, though. And that's where we should end it.
Yeah, and so there's that. As always, this is Liquid Courage Podcast. Sorry that we were this way this time. Hopefully next week we'll have more fun.
Next month.
I'll take fewer shots.
Oh, yeah, more next month. Sorry.
By the way,
whenever it comes out, it'll come out.
I noticed before we were starting here that the way that things are going, and we want to make sure it goes this way because we're a monthly podcast, we should be done with season 1 by the time we hit our 1-year anniversary.
Oh my god!
Holy shit.
That's so cool.
So I don't know if we're gonna do something special for it, but I thought it was just really cool to
fan fiction. Probably before that, actually.
Yeah, I would love to do.
That's probably gonna be a one-off.
Yes.
That's probably gonna be a one-off that oh my god! If you're a listener to this podcast and you write a Courage the Cowardly Dog theme poem and you send it to our Twitter, which is @liquid_podcast, or I had to look, or the email address, which is Tim.
The email address is theliquidcouragepodcast@gmail.com.
If you send those and they're courage themed, not just your initial first go at poetry thing, but if you're a courage themed poem, I will read one from here on out at the beginning of every podcast, and that will be our opener.
Yes, thank God, because we need something to open that's not just us being so this week is fine. Hey, let's start.
Cult run opens are great. Look at the best of the worst. But our next 2 episodes we're going to look at, just so we are on the same page, is Queen of the Black Puddle, and Everyone Wants to Direct.
Yes, and both of those are very good episodes that I remember.
Fucking Queen of the Black Puddle gave me nightmares.
Queen of the Black Puddle made me feel weird as a child.
That reminds me of that Fox show where there was a puddle of black goo that would swallow people, and I don't remember what it was called.
Is that called Destiny 2?
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I think that's called Destiny. Never mind. Let's go.
Fox tried to do a terrifying horror show for a while. Anyway, we're out, baby.
Bye,
guys. See you next month. And Tim, we're bye. Get out.
Bye.
Leave. Doors open. Don't let it hit you where your mom split you.
That was the Liquid Courage Podcast, an in-depth look at every episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. On the next episode, we check out the Queen of the Black Puddle and Everyone Wants to Direct. Music was provided by Visionless. You can find them at www.soundcloud.com/VISIONL3SS. We do not own the rights to Courage the Cowardly Dog. Until next time, have a wonderful night.
Oh, I have found you. I have found my true love. I have found my queen. No. I I am not his queen